Did you know that the most expensive feeling in real estate isn't square footage, it's privacy, and you can build it for less than the price of a new pickup truck? Picture this. You step outside your back door, but you're not in your neighbor's sight line. You're not on a deck facing a fence. You're standing in your own private courtyard, open to the sky, completely wrapped on every side by your own home. No one can see in. You can see straight up at the stars. And the wild part, this entire layout, the one architect have been charging rich clients six figures for since ancient Rome, can be built into a tiny home for around $35,000. Today I'm breaking down the Courtyard Tiny House, how it works, what it actually costs in 2026, and why this single design decision might be the smartest move in the entire tiny home movement. Stick around until the end, because I'm going to show you the one layout mistake that turns a courtyard into a money pit, and the one trick that turns it into the most valuable square footage in the whole build. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hit subscribe because every week we break down real, honest numbers behind tiny and alternative homes. No sponsors, no inflated price tags, just what things actually cost. Let's get into it. The courtyard isn't a trend. It's one of the oldest tricks in architecture. The Romans called it the domus, a home built around a central open space called the atrium, where rainwater collected in a pool called the impluvium. Wealthy families decorated these courtyards with mosaics and sculpture because the courtyard was the heart of the home, not an afterthought. Centuries later, you'll find the same idea in Spanish haciendas, Moroccan riads, and traditional Japanese houses. Different cultures, different climates, same realization. If you wrap your living space around an open center instead of pushing it all toward the outside edges, you solve three problems at once: privacy, light, and airflow. Here's why that matters more in a tiny home than almost anywhere else. A typical tiny house is long, narrow, and lined with windows because it has to be. There's no room to spare for hallways or deep interior rooms. But windows facing outward also face your neighbors, the street, or whoever's walking their dog past your lot. A tiny courtyard flips the entire problem. Instead of your windows facing out toward the world, they face inward toward a private, walled garden that belongs only to you. Most courtyard tiny homes are built in a U shape or an O shape. In a U shape, two wings of the house, usually bedrooms and bathrooms, run along either side of the courtyard, while the open base of the U holds the kitchen, dining, and living space. The courtyard sits in the gap, completely enclosed on three sides. The O shape goes a step further, closing the loop entirely so the courtyard is surrounded on all four sides. That's the configuration that gives you total privacy. No sight lines in from any direction, because every wall facing the courtyard is your own wall. According to small courtyard design research, the most effective version uses a floor-to-wall height ratio between roughly 1:1 and 1:1.5. That's the sweet spot between enough verticality to actually feel enclosed and private, and enough openness that the space doesn't feel like the bottom of a well. This layout does double duty as a natural separator. Architects call it zoning. The loud stuff, your kitchen, your living room, your guests, stays on one side. The quiet stuff, your bedroom, your bathroom, stays on the other. The courtyard sits between them as a buffer, which means you actually get acoustic privacy inside your own 400 square feet, something almost no other tiny home layout can offer. Let's talk numbers, because this is where most videos lie to you. Across multiple 2026 cost guides, the average tiny home build lands somewhere between $30,000 and $90,000, with most DIY builders spending in the $25,000 to $45,000 range, and professionally built homes running $60,000 to $95,000. The national average cost per square foot for a tiny home sits between $150 and $450, compared to roughly $150 per square foot for a conventional home. So where does a courtyard tiny house land inside that range? Realistically, on the lower to middle end if you're hands-on, and that's the part most people get wrong. People assume a courtyard automatically means luxury pricing, glass atriums, steel framing, the whole 9 yards. It doesn't have to. The most expensive version of this concept is the fully enclosed glass-roofed atrium. the kind with a transparent geometric roof letting light pour straight down. That version absolutely can push your budget toward the higher end because glass roofing and structural complexity are genuinely expensive. But a true courtyard, meaning an open-to-sky space wrapped by your home's own walls, doesn't require a roof at all. That's the version that keeps you near that $35,000 mark. Here's roughly how that budget breaks down on a strict DIY or owner-assisted build, because that $35,000 number only works for the strict DIY tier with standard materials. A basic slab or pier foundation runs about $2,500 to $6,000 for a typical 400 square foot footprint. That works out to roughly $6 to $16 per square foot. Framing, roofing, siding, and insulation take up the largest single chunk of the budget, usually $12,000 to $18,000. Budget kitchen and bathroom fixtures will run you about $3,000 to $5,000. Windows and doors, which matter more here because the courtyard depends on them, run roughly $2,000 to $4,500. And throw in another $1,000 to $3,000 for permits and basic utility hookups, and you're right on that $35,000 tightrope. The honest reason a courtyard layout can stay affordable is that you're not adding square footage, you're rearranging it. You're not building a deck, a covered porch, and a fenced yard. You're using the home's own walls to create the enclosure, which means your privacy feature is essentially free real estate you already needed to build anyway. If you only remember one section of this video, make it this one, because this is the difference between a $35,000 build and a $95,000 one. Mistake number 1, adding a glass roof you don't need. A fully glazed atrium roof looks incredible on camera, but it adds serious structural cost and long-term maintenance. Glass seals can develop leaks and drafts over time. If your climate allows it, leave the courtyard open to the sky. You get the same privacy and light without the added engineering. Mistake number 2, oversizing the courtyard. The courtyard doesn't need to be a backyard. Research on compact courtyard design points to recommended interior daylight levels around 300 to 500 lux for living spaces, which a modest, well-oriented courtyard with light, reflective finishes can deliver consistently, even at a small footprint. You're optimizing for light and privacy, not square footage. Mistake number 3, ignoring orientation. In temperate climates, a south or southeast-facing courtyard pulls in low winter sun, while overhangs block harsh summer glare. Get this wrong, and you'll either freeze out the space half the year or bake it at the other half. Mistake number 4, skipping the privacy screening details. You don't need solid walls everywhere. Perforated screens with around 20 to 40% openness, translucent glazing facing neighboring sight lines, and clear glazing facing into your own courtyard give you privacy without making the space feel like a box. And mistake number 5, the one almost nobody talks about: fire and code compliance. Open courtyards can actually increase the path of fire could spread through a structure, since you've created more connected open space. It's a manageable risk, but it's one your local inspector will ask about, so build it into your planning conversation early instead of finding out at the permit office. Here's why all of this is worth the planning. A courtyard does something almost no other feature in a tiny home can do. It makes 400 square feet feel like 1,000. Every room that opens onto the courtyard gets a private outdoor view, natural cross-ventilation, since warm air rises and exits through the open top, while cooler air gets pulled in from below, and daylight reaches deep into the home instead of just at the windows facing the street. It also solves the single biggest complaint about tiny home living: the total absence of private outdoor space. A normal deck or patio means anyone can see you. A courtyard means you can sit outside in your underwear with your morning coffee and nobody on earth will ever know. So, is the Courtyard Tiny House worth it? If you're chasing pure, cheapest possible square footage, probably not. A simple rectangular shell will always beat it on raw material cost. But if privacy, light, and that genuine feeling of luxury are what you're after, this layout gives you all three for close to the same budget as a basic build, as long as you skip the glass roof and keep the footprint honest. If this video helped you picture your own build a little more clearly, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more people who are planning their own tiny home right now. And if you want to see the full $35,000 courtyard build broken down room by room, let me know in the comments and I'll make that video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.